Frequency Matters, the RF and Microwave Update. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary LaRue and special guest Dr. Thomas Cameron, CTO at Analog Devices, and also our co-chair for EDICon USA 2017. We're coming to you from the show floor today, and we had a great day on Monday with training sessions, and then Tuesday started the conference and exhibition. And we had a great plenary talk that you gave, 5G 5 years from now. Can you maybe tell us about the highlights of that people missed it?
Sure. One of the main points I made yesterday is really 5G is about connectivity.
Right.
And more connectivity, better quality connectivity. And I made the statement, connectivity to the point where you don't even think about it anymore. And that's our long-term goal as an industry. One of the key points I made about 5G was the flexibility it brings.
Right.
And really, compared to 4G, it's that flexibility to enable all of these new markets and new use cases that we envision going forward.
I liked your comment there about taking connectivity for granted, just like we take the atmosphere for granted.
Thank you.
Except it won't be free.
I did make that point. It's probably not free.
Not free, exactly. So I thought the other presentation, Scott McMorrow's plenary talk, was a nice complement to yours. As you know, he talked about sort of how do you be a change agent in a corporate culture. And that was very stimulating. He's a very entertaining speaker, so I thought that was great as well.
Oh, that was a great talk. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah. And I think it resonated with many people in the room.
You could tell by the laughter, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so we really appreciate that you were on the show today, and that ADI is our host sponsor here this year. And we also had Rohde & Schwartz as our corporate sponsor. And if you could maybe tell us a little bit about what you guys were featuring in the booth, or what were some of the highlights you saw at the event today?
Yeah, well, first point I would make yesterday, I thought there was a real buzz on the floor. It was quite busy. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of traffic in the booth. So, along the lines of 5G, we're highlighting, of course, our transceiver products and our radio burst portfolio. That got a lot of attention. We have our new product, the AD9375 on display. There was constant traffic there. That's a very popular product.
I bet.
We're also showcasing our millimeter wave lineup, and I don't know if you were by the booth, but we have the full lineup there, actually operational. So there's the data converters, the up converters, down converters, amplifiers. And so we have a signal running, I think somewhere around 30 gigahertz. That's a great demo to go by and see. We have our MEM switch there on display, which is really interesting. And MEM switches are coming along quite well. And then there's a couple of young fellows you should drop by and see, because they're actually working on applying the transceiver technology to S-band radar, which is an adjacent market for the transceiver product line. And it sort of demonstrates the breadth of that product, right? Because it is, we focus on wireless with the transceiver products, but there are broad applications for that technology.
One of the things that's impressed me about this show, you see it in a number of the papers, and I think Analog Devices is particularly well positioned to demonstrate this, is kind of the evolving technology wall between the classic RF analog circuitry and digital circuitry, and how much more digital beamforming and the technologies being applied as the clock speeds go up and the bits go up. A lot more of the architecture is changing in a dramatic way, but also to your earlier point about flexibility in system design.
And I talked about that a little bit yesterday on how we look at the partition of the radio, and the fact that a lot of those functions are in CMOS now gives us just much more flexibility to partition the system and optimize for power consumption, and reduce the number of interface components in there. So it gives us a new palette to paint on.
Right.
And you did a very interesting panel, Gary, on automotive applications for the autonomous car. What was that called?
Well, we said, look, Ma, no hands, or no steering wheel. It's a takeoff from the old look, Ma, no hands. And second year that we did it, and Analog Devices participated on the panel, as well as Autoliv, a active safety subsystem provider. We had Anritsu, who provided a test and measurement perspective, and then Alex Wyglinski from WPI. They're doing a lot of research in this area, and so he provided kind of that academic far look, and it was a fascinating discussion about how self-driving technology is developing. And I thought one of the most telltale signs, at least for me, at the end of the panel, after everybody had left, the panelists stood there and talked for another 30 minutes, exchanging notes back and forth. So I thought that was pretty good. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to do that again next year.
Yes, I think that's an annual event.
Yeah, that was a good panel. So actually, I was thinking about that this morning, and having the automotive component added to the show here really just shows how wireless is spreading into some of these verticals.
Right, exactly.
And I was actually speaking to the Autoleague people just here yesterday, and I was looking at their car, and that's what struck me, is that, you know, being a electronic design show or more wireless focused, now we have the automotive industry present here. Mm-hmm. It really does show how wireless is becoming pervasive throughout society.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we also did a GaN panel for high performance GaN, the Ferrari of amplifiers, which was fun. ADI, Qorvo, Integra, MACOM, and then for the first time we had Raytheon and BAE Systems as part of our panel. So very interesting to see their take on it. BAE is always working on very wideband applications for their EW. Raytheon's, you know, pure power amp play for radar type of applications. But I think what everybody said that was interesting is that the 5 or 6 watts per millimeter that we're getting now is really nothing. I mean, we can go much higher. It's just a matter of thermal management. Right. So, you know, what type of packaging? A lot of them are working GaN on diamond, and they think in the next couple of years that would be practical for production, at least for niche high power applications. But better yet, I think we really need to work on packaging. It's a matter of thermal management. What kind of innovative composite materials and configurations can we come up on the packaging side to improve that? So it was very fun to see, and MACOM, of course, is the only one really doing GaN on silicon, and they're getting 70% efficiency at the infrastructure, cellular infrastructure point of view.
Wow.
And they really think that that's the way to go. But it's interesting to see which technologies will take a foothold against LDMOS in the infrastructure market.
Yeah, a lot of progress there in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot more to come, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, is that a wrap? Any other thoughts?
Just one last thought. Our September European Microwave Week issue is going to be coming out very shortly. The cover story is about massive MIMO, so some authors from Bristol University and British Telecom are doing some experiments on moving from MIMO to massive MIMO, how that can be implemented, and you'll see the latest results that they have. So look for that coming up.
Yeah, that's a really interesting article, so as Pat says, watch for it. So that's it from EDICon 2017 in Boston. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Frequency Matters.